Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 26 with the Colorado Rockies. Apologies for the late video today. Normally I record my videos in advance, but I had a pretty full weekend, and I happen to have today off, so that's why I'm doing it. You're basically getting this live, more or less. As soon as I'm done recording this video, I'm going to upload it immediately, so you will get a video today. I apologize it wasn't at 8 a.m. Central, which is when I usually have them uploaded. Last episode, we did some off-season stuff. We're... It's hard to call this run a fail, given that we've gone to the postseason 8 times, but we haven't even sniffed the World Series realistically. Like, we haven't even gotten that close. So... Actually, haven't we actually gone to the World Series a single time? Am I forgetting that? If I want to look at... No, I want the League History Index. That's true. I did go to the World Series a single time. So we've at least been to the World Series, which is more than the real-life Rockies can say. I think. No, I completely spaced on the fact that in 2007 that they went to the World Series and got destroyed by the Red Sox. Wild stuff. Anyway. So yes, we had a semi-eventful offseason. Most of the team is who we had last year. AJ Dubé, your starting first baseman. I don't feel great about it, but he's a good on-base guy at the very least, so hopefully he'll be able to help the rest of the lineup develop. Most of the rest of the guys here for Jake Miller is someone that we're activating and giving a chance to. You may be surprised to see that. Actually, you wouldn't be surprised to see that Danny Ruiz is going because that's a White Sox save. Oh my lord. Rotation is a bunch of old friends plus Willie Cantu. Willie has been up in the majors before, but now he's getting his chance to actually show that he can start regularly. Bullpen is a pretty established thing at this point. David Bennett is new. He's one of our wunderkinds from the minors that's going to get a chance to pitch this year. Overall, a pretty quiet offseason. Pretty quiet. We have David Hunt as our catcher, although we had him last year as well, with Gabriel Avila backing him up. Yeah. If we take a look at our transaction log. Oh yeah, Dylan Patrick Baxter doesn't get to make the opening day roster because he's hurt. I don't think we had any significant movement in the offseason, but I'm double checking that. I did take Jorge Aguilar, and then it promptly returned him to Toronto because it turned out he wasn't that good. We did give Tom Remy a 2-year contract extension, so we'll have him to kick around a little bit longer. And yeah, this is mostly about securing our future by locking up a few players. That's mostly what we did. We did trade Matt Mittman for a passel of rookies who may or may not be restored. And then we said goodbye to Naofumi Tanaka, who is technically on the free agent list. We could offer him a minor league contract if we wanted to. I'm kind of into that, actually. I like having him in the minors if he wants to take it. But did we already flag Matt Mittman as a former Rocky? We did. Okay. Oh, let's get it going. Is there a reason why we're not starting Will Levy? Did he pitch like the last day of spring training or something? I'm not gonna just to give him another opening day start. I'm not gonna fuck with that. We're just gonna let him block and load and do his thing. Hey, we won our first game before losing several more. We did acquire Tanaka, so welcome to AAA. Let's say goodbye to somebody that's currently in AAA. That doesn't seem like they're very good. Like Naofumi Tanaka. No, I'm joking. I think Pat Demers' time has come and gone. I think releasing him is fine. Maybe he'll catch on with another major league team. Potentially. Ricardo Yaquinde can return. I want you to rehab right now. Because right now the person you'd be replacing would be Bennett. And I don't necessarily hate the fact that Bennett's getting some meaningful experience in the majors this year, so we're going to go ahead and let you rehab. And hopefully prevent a further injury later on. Travis Cooper was probably the single biggest extension we had last season just because we fully committed him at this point, which I think we all knew was coming, but now we definitely know it is. Mostly immaterial stuff. Jeff Polson slightly better. Matsuzaka or Yasukawa is slightly worse. Nothing too crazy here. McMartin is going to miss 3 weeks because he's trained his butt. Good job, man. Maximum couch potato confirmed. Well, now he's genuinely hurt, so fine. Alright, so McMartin's going to miss a happy amount of time. Who's the next one up in the outfield? It's either Castellanos or Meyer. I think it's Meyer. I think Meyer is the best combination of skill in the outfield plus skill with the bat. Yeah, I think we do it. How did I get you anyway? Oh, I drafted you. Go me. Alright, so now who's going to start in the outfield? Jim Sellers is fine and left. So the question comes down to, does Jake Miller shift over to right field and then we play someone else as DH? Calderon would be an amazing right fielder, actually. You know what? Let's do it. So Calderon, you're going to be playing right field. Are you... You're about the same guy either way. You're actually, let's platoon them. Let's get some platooning action in. This is a good way to make the best use of our team. You're an Earth. And then Will Myers, the left fielder, is left-handed. Perfect. You can play right field against that. Do we DH Jim Sellers? Yeah, we do. That's just the smarter decision. And then Jake Miller can play left field. Is Jake Miller better in right? He is about the same, so this is fun. Improves our outfield defense. Still gives us some pretty decent offensive options here. Gives Will Meyer a chance to get some rep in. Gives Javier Calderon a chance to get some meaningful playing time. So, always appreciated. Let's continue. Don't tag yard goats. That's incredibly rude. Alright, we're up to this part of the season again. Ricardo Zavala still has a bit of upside to him, so we're going to promote him. Who else was it? It was Victor Prado. Yeah, I don't need you. Brad Hartley. You suck. Okay, game. I keep missing the bottom of the window. There you go. And then we have Alex Espinosa and Bernardo Martinez. And neither one of you is particularly noteworthy. Okay. I'm not gonna keep going yet. I'm gonna push ahead one more day because we'll probably also get your people in high A are timing out. Or lower timing out. Yep. So now we can promote people to high A and avoid those particular rules. Who did you say? Matt Miller and Jim Wales. Let's look at the two of them. Matt Miller sucks. We can just release him. Jim Wales sucks. We can release him. Omar Leos and Paul Fuentes. Leo sucks. Fuentes sucks. Who's next? McKinney and Menchaca. McKinney sucks. I have a plethora of terrible relievers on this organization. Like, holy shit. Samard Gatti. Here's Gatti. He's pretty terrible. Where is Samard? There you are. You're not even a good shortstop. You're a first baseman who, frankly, isn't even very good at that. So I think we'll bid you farewell. And who's the last guy? Vicente Gomez. Okay. Well, that's all basically nothing, because now we thought to just fill these two rosters out. Anyone having a good... Oh, no one has actually played yet? That's fair. Yeah, no one's actually played yet. Alright, if you've got the hash mark, you get promoted here. Because somebody's got to play the part, right? Salinas can get promoted. Castillo and Carpio can get promoted. Gomez. Ramirez. Marty Rice just genuinely sucks. Garcia, Portillo. Actually, Portillo could have just been cut. Oshii. And Bakedano. There you go. Sorted. I know we're short two people in AAA. I want to see how things settle out before I commit anybody else to there. Alright. Dylan Patrick had a really good year last year. Is anyone in the bullpen struggling pretty badly? Pretty much everybody. That's the takeaway here. The pitching has been pretty atrocious to start off the season here. Does Baxter have a good arm? Not really. I'm going to go ahead and let you rehab. I think that's the solution to my problem here, and then we'll see what happens here in 30 days. Good talk. Willie Cantu's going to miss 3 weeks. That's kind of stinky, but that opens the door for Hakeem Day. So we're just going to slot him in. I was going to start him anyway. He is still quite young. Let's give him his pitch count of 100 pitches. I don't want him ever pitching more than 100 at this stage in his career. And then we'll continue to the end of April. We've been a fairly successful team despite our pitching staff having some very serious issues. Which I think is good to see, obviously, but it is a little bit concerning. And hopefully the pitching figures it out. Because pitching will bury us when the postseason starts. If our pitching isn't up to snuff, we will just get destroyed. Sean Zawai is improving down in AA. That's good to see. Yeah, don't fucking remind me that he used to be on my team and I let him go. Just make me feel stupid, game. Thank you. So what's going on here? How are we performing as well as we are? We're hitting for pretty average other than Dubé. Mr. Dubé, you've had 165 plate appearances and you've been the dirt fucking worst. I think we had to swap you out. There is no benefit to me keeping you in the lineup and hoping you figure it out. I think that's a pretty stupid idea. Yasukawa seems to be back, though, which is very exciting. If he's anywhere back to his normal level, then we're a much more effective team. Rotation looks really good. It's actually just the bullpen that's struggling so far, and the defense is also quite good. So Dubé, I think it's Hedgecock time. I think Hedgecock being so well-rounded all around makes him a much more effective player than you. You had your chance, mate. Maybe you'll figure it out in the minors, but it's Hedgecock time. Now the question is, where do we hit him? Do we hit him second? Or do we hit Cooper second? Or even Jake Miller second? Not Will Myers second. Will Myers got to earn his stripes first. Like, Cooper's ability to steal bases makes him kind of tempting to bat higher in the lineup, but he's not great at getting on base. Monroe's already hitting third. Sellers could hit second, potentially. I'm not sure that that's the best solution, but it could happen. Jake Miller's doing alright. Jake Miller could be useful, but I like keeping him lower in the lineup. Let's just try Hedgecock, right? Let's just go balls to the wall, Hedgecock time. Game, you know I didn't want to do that. There we go. I mean, wouldn't that be an embarrassing headline? You know, oops, accidentally left his name off the lineup card and now he can't play. So, yeah. Rest of this is fun. I don't know if I want Avila playing every 4 games. Especially, Hunt isn't doing that great either, so I guess that's fine. The thing is, we're a first place club, so I don't want to mess with things too much, but Dubé was very obviously overmatched. It's a little early to be replacing someone, but we want to keep a fairly active revolving door in first base until this is settled once and for all. We can always shift Sellers to first base and play someone else at DH if that becomes a thing we want to try out. Also, this contract looks like it was pretty stupid in retrospect. Yeah. Sometimes signing players, young players, to long-term deals doesn't work out. We'll just leave it at that. Personal message, Jeff Carr's going to miss another 3 months. That's fine. Jeff Carr, quite honestly, has a really hard time fitting on this roster now. So, we'll see what happens as the season progresses, but there is a very realistic possibility that Jeff Carr isn't around anymore. Also have Bruce Connors and Joe Caldwell. Definitely promote Connors. Caldwell we can release. Who else is up for promotion? Angel Gomez and Ryan Johnson. I like Johnson slightly better than Gomez, so we'll release Gomez. And then whoever the last guy is gets promoted. Congratulations. Dan Sponseller. He's a pretty good catcher. We can promote him. Yeah. I need some pitching promoted. Is anyone doing particularly well in high A to start the season? Jose Carrasco, you're in. I just need another warm body to throw pitches, because I evidently want to play all the outfielders that have ever existed. That means I can promote one more person. Is anyone playing well yet? Oh, the season's barely started. Never mind. We'll just run with a man empty for right now. That's fine. I don't know why you're stopping this for the Draft League tournament. I mean, I guess it's kind of interesting, but doesn't really affect me. Ken McMartin is ready to come back. Ken McMartin is low-key probably the best fit to hit quite highly in this lineup. How is the Calderon-Meyer connection? Calderon is playing extremely well. Meyer's playing acceptably well. I'm going to send Meyer to the minors. McMartin is a switch hitter, but he's actually the same, except he's slightly better against right-handed pitching. Do we want to let Calderon keep playing? Because Calderon is having a pretty fair season. And I want to actually see if he's got anything. So I do think letting McMartin maybe platoon to start to get healthy again is totally fine. Completely acceptable. I'm not playing Calderon in left field over Jake Miller right now. Jake Miller's been pretty solid. Or has he? Do I just play Calderon all the time and let Miller ride the bench? Miller hasn't been that great. And it's exactly what you would have expected, right? It's this. Maybe we do play Calderon every day. I'm in. I am so in, you guys. Miller is a righty, and he is better against left-handed pitching. Maybe this is fine. We just let him platoon. I could also just play McMartin and ignore Miller entirely, which is obviously the better choice. We'll do that. There's just no sane reason why I would ever play Miller over McMartin when McMartin has the track record and Miller does not. So that's what we're going to roll with here. Willie Cantu's ready to make his trend from return. I'd like you to rehab, please. Because none of my starters... I mean, I guess Hakinde is struggling, but he's also only had 2 starts. And I kind of like to give him some more starts before I make any rash judgments. Alright, Dylan Patrick Baxter. Either we bring him back or we say goodbye to him. I mean, Blake Long has certainly not been doing himself any favors. Ryan Birch is struggling pretty badly, too. Do either Birch or Long have options left? They both do. They're basically the exact same pitcher, which is really funny. Birch, we're going to send you to the minors. I want to bring Dylan Patrick Baxter back, and we're going to let him be a middle reliever. Blake Long, let's use you less often, shall we? And let's use Phil Harbor more, I guess. That's fine. Tom Remy, what's happened to you this season? Oh, the walks have shot up. This is really, really unlike you, so I think you're going to solve it on your own. I think you're going to solve it. I did get new coaches, right? We did get a new pitching coach. Yeah, we have Kevin Ool. Kevin Oolong. You're best friends with Tom Remy, so hopefully you figure it out. Oh no, Santa. Wait, he played 1 game? That's redonkulous. Why would you do that to poor Santa? You basically put him in... I wonder if he got hurt, maybe. Maybe that's what happened. We're very middle of the pack this season, which is honestly what I expect from this team. Given that we lack true superstar power, Yasukawa, you're going to play through the pain because this is a very good year for you. And I'd rather just replace you with somebody if you get permanently hurt. Do I have a shortstop, actually? I guess there's an argument to be made that Yasukawa is pretty important. Arguez is not a shortstop. Tanaka is not a shortstop. Teles, not a shortstop. Ryan Ferguson is a mediocre shortstop. Bill Gaston is an okay shortstop. I guess he's the next man up if Yasukawa does get injured. Actually, I guess Anderson is the next man up, huh? That's the best shortstop on the roster, I think. It's a strained groin. It affects his base running. Base running is a big part of his game. But here's my problem right now. we're not in great shape. We're only a few games over 500. The longer it takes us to, I don't think we can afford to miss him. That's kind of where I'm coming at this right now. So I think we just let him play through it. And if he gets more permanently hurt, then we figure out what to do from there. It's a shitty solution, but Yasukawa is both too important right now, and we have a ready replacement. So if he does get injured and he misses significant time, then we have other options available to us. So I don't mind him playing through it. I could just bench him, I suppose, but I think that seems pretty stupid. Pete Wellborn keeps getting better, which is pretty exciting. I'd love to get another great reliever in this bullpen. Mostly this is fairly minor stuff. Nothing too wild. Manzanar. I think you were briefly on my team at one point. Oh, you were a guy that I could have drafted. Oh, I see. I remember you now. Yeah. You're the guy that I could have signed in free agency, but elected not to, which seems like a pretty smart idea so far. Arguelles, you silly sausage. You're the silliest and the sausagest. Alright. It is combine time. This is rude. You're not allowed to play well against me. I thought that was clearly established. Give me the combine, and then let's just... No, game. You're doing it again. I would genuinely love for them to improve the menu system in this game. For a game that relies very heavily on menus, overbooked is yikes. Let's remove a couple people. Let's remove Nick Sullivan here. Let's remove this guy. Still overbooked. Like, the guy's got a day job too, right? The 46 can go. 49 can go. He's still overbooked? Holy shit, dude. Do you just, like, suck at your job? Maybe. Alright, busy I can work with. Now, you're actually pretty awesome. I was saying something that I completely forgot what it was, so I guess I'll just not say anything. Willie Cantu's rehab time runs out. Okay. Here's the interesting problem about Cantu, right? Cantu doesn't have any options up, which means I have to expose him to waivers if I want to keep him. Do I want to keep him is the question. I have loads of leadership on this franchise. I don't think trading Cantu hurts us very much. The question is, do we think Cantu's got a chance to develop into a better starting pitcher than he is right now? He's already 26, is the thing. And he still has a ways to go to even be acceptable. I think trading him is fine. If he was still had options up, I would send him to the minors without hesitation. But the fact that he doesn't have options up leads me to believe I'd rather trade him for somebody who does have options and we could turn to something more useful, like a Jan van der Velde. Let's do it. Yeah, we have so many captains. I don't think you should be whining so much about losing him. Okay? It's just not very smart. What if the entire locker room was captains? Wasn't that a thing with the fucking Yankees or something? What am I thinking of? Where some team named like 7 captains or something. I think it was the Yankees. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to the name. Sorry. Alright, now we have some meaningful stats, so we could potentially look at those. Or we could just promote people at random. Let's do that. Hector Hernandez is pretty shit. Who else is on the list? Santiago Jimenez and Jose Soto. I guess we can promote you. Who's the last guy? Was it Jesus Diaz? Yeah, it was. You can depart. I'm being kind of random the way that I do this because honestly, I want to make decisions about these guys before they age out. Will Meyer is Player of the Week. I think there's a very realistic scenario where he comes back and plays like an incredible being. But I did want him to get more seasoning in the high minors. So as long as he keeps developing the way that we hope he can, then I think there's a very good chance we'll see him again on the main roster before the season is out. We're not scoring consistently. And that was honestly my biggest concern with this franchise. We don't have the sort of top tier lineup guys to always make this work. How is the vibes? The vibes are pretty solid. Let's keep everybody then. If the vibes are reasonable, I don't see any reason to make any changes here. Team trainer's been doing a pretty solid job. I'm not that concerned about him. We're always gonna have leg injuries with him, so I guess that's a reason to upgrade. But I think at least for right now, he's doing fine. Plus, he's still young, so he might get better. And then Aaron Isabella is just. If Aaron Isabella was a bit of a dick, I'd get rid of him. But since he's not, I'll keep him. And then we'll sign some new minor league coaches. I feel like in 2026, I have done a lot less coaching upgrades within the roster, and maybe that's for the best, and maybe it's not so good. We have 2 Rockies in the top 10. Armando Alvarez, and we have, of course, Kevin Bressler. While I'm thinking about it, actually, who is in D-Complex? All players, sort by age. We've got some more 18-year-olds that want to get promoted. We'll do it. This because there's so many new openings now, so I think promoting these fine folks is very reasonable. So we're going to do that. I wonder if one of the things that made this game harder than it probably should be is the self-imposed roster limits. I mean, it is realistic. That is how it works in the real-life major leagues. You can't have as many people in the minors as you want. But it is... It's probably handicapping us slightly. Not a lot, but slightly. It makes it harder for us to accumulate depth in the minors. Unless you do it through the draft. And that doesn't always work out, as we already know. I'm never going to see any Rockies players in this thing, which is a little bit spooky. A little bit disappointing. I mean, the team looks reasonably good. We're just not scoring consistently. Thank goodness for Mark Monroe and Jeff Polson. Jonathan Hedgecock has low-key been kind of solid. He hasn't been amazing, but he's been better than Dubé 100%. David Hunt's been a bit of a clusterfuck. So is Ken McMartin, but he is still getting warmed up. Jim Sellers, I think, needs to go. I think I have enough other players that can handle his job at much cheaper rates. I could probably go like an Oscar Castellanos. That I think keeping Jim Sellers at this point is just hoping that something will change when it clearly will not. I think he has to go. Now, one moment. Goodness. Nope, wait, one more time. Oh, big sneeze energy right there. I think the challenge with Jim Sellers is going to be the fact that he's got this long-term deal and not many people are going to want him. So this is something we're going to have to consider. We're going to have to think about it and find a solution to this problem here. It's not that he's terrible. Like, he is getting his job done, sort of. But he's being paid to be an above-average player. Right now, he's below average. And... Oh, is Meyer hurt? Meyer is hurt. But he'll be back in a few days. I'd rather have Meyer on the roster, to be honest with you. Alright, guys. What is the market like for gym sellers? Is there even a market here? There may not be. Maybe there is. I'm getting pretty bad offers, which is about what I expected, right? If I pay 25% of his salary, does this get any better? I have enough money that if I wanted to, I could just eat his entire salary. Let's try that and see if I can get myself a tasty prospect package. Probably not. Oh, I'm getting some. All right, what's the deal with Kyle Johnson here? He has played in the major leagues, so that's a no. These are pretty uninspired. Let me look at single players here and see if I can't find myself one really good player for sellers. I'm seeing some guys that are in pretty high demand here. Rich Morton. Rich Morton is the exact kind of player that I'm looking for. A very accomplished, well-rounded hitter that doesn't do a lot wrong. Now I'm going to start reducing the salary that I'm going to cover. So we're basically paying for a pretty high-quality prospect. I'd love to try to get another one. Can I get Vinny Molina? Vinny Molina actually is somebody you're willing to give up. Oh, he's played in the majors. Sorry, Molina. There was a time that you could have been a Rocky, but now not so much. Dan Grant is okay. Getting another outfielder is always useful. No, you don't want Dan Grant? You're like, fuck Dan Grant? Okay. Gaetano Galliana is pretty decent. He's not great, but he's fine. Maybe this is enough. Maybe a guy with Morton's pedigree is worthwhile. In the absence of anything else. And I think we make this trade. It buys me some salary relief, not a huge amount, but some. But more importantly, gets me a pretty solid prospect that I'm pretty excited about. He's going to get up through the minors quite rapidly if he plays his cards right. You should be in AAA, though. Actually, where have you played last? Jim Sellers, enjoy your time with the Memphis Armadillos. You're currently in AA, and you don't have a lot of experience at the AA level, so I think this is perfectly fine. If he develops well, he's going to be a very nice all-around first baseman, which is something that we've been craving for a long time. With Sellers gone, I can't bring Meyer back. We could use Castellanos. What it's actually using is a DH. It doesn't give me... Do I use Jake Miller? Jake Miller still has a decent amount of power. That's not nothing. Is there like a really good hitter that's looking for an opportunity? I could quite literally just instantly put what's-his-face in the major leagues, Rich Morton. Which would be kind of funny. Sean Zelaya needs to be promoted to AAA. I think that'll help. Let me promote Alex Jaramillo because I need a new catcher in AA. Let me also promote Cooper and Jimenez to AAA, and that'll sort that out. I mean, the real answer is that Jeff Carr gets his job back when he returns, which is certainly not a bad offer. But I think in the short term, using Castellanos and then letting... Is Paul Trice hitting? He's not hitting. Let's at least try Castellanos, right? That's something we have to at least consider. McMartin's also hitting really, really badly. But, that's fine. It's not fine, but it's the best I can do right now, so I'm not going to question it. I need to rejuggle this lineup, I think, pretty heavily. Maybe it's just only the top 4 are good, and we just take whatever we can get from the rest of it. I could sure use another offensive superstar. I also wish Mark Monroe drew more walks. That would make me a lot happier about his performance. He's still a very, very good player, don't get me wrong. He's still an essential piece of the Rockies, but he doesn't hit well enough for me to be super enthused. Jeff Paulson is building on a very strong Rookie of the Year campaign, which is pretty exciting. Yasukawa is back for a given definition of the word back. We need a big-time hitter to come from somewhere. That's what we're most desperately lacking. A consistent day one to day whatever hitter that just plays well all the time. And those are very, very difficult to find, obviously. Very, very difficult. I mean, Harry can just, like, casually at 404, which is kind of funny. Yasukawa's got a stiff back right at the right time because of the All-Star break. Nice. He did not make the All-Star team, which is kind of surprising to me. Jeff Paulson and Mark Monroe did, though, which is cool. Only 2 Rockies. Paulson and Monroe make sense to me. Mossdale's having an amazing season, so you know what? I don't even begrudge that to you. No pitchers, and honestly, like, I could make an argument for, say, Tony Sarmiento, but it wouldn't be a very good argument, so, yeah. Ruben Santa Cruz is rapidly increasing the chances he's going to lose his job next season. I believe. Justice Predictor Tom Remy has sorted it out. I knew he would. Good job, Tom. Bullpen looks pretty solid. Starters could be a little better. Santa Cruz is really struggling this year. This looks like age to me. He's already past 30. He's just not quite as sharp as he used to be. The walk rate going up is especially concerning. What's happened is he's probably lost his stuff, so he's getting a little bit cuter and nibbling around the edges, and that's turning into walks. And that's... Oh, he's losing velocity. That's it. Yeah, he's done. He is the dunnest. Bressler, Hagawood, Schreiber, Alvarez all making the roster. Nice. Alright, let's simulate up to the draft. And let's get some drafting done. Chris McLaughlin gets a bunch of base hits. That's kind of neat. Sean Zelaya is very rapidly moving up this roster as well as somebody that might end up getting promoted at some point here. Yeah, let's draft. I have loads and loads of money, so this is how we improve our draft. We hire the people nobody else wants to because they're crazy expensive. Man, I would have drafted Bobby King in a heartbeat if he was still around. Oh well. I could get Steve Collar instead, which doesn't excite me. I'm not going to get a reliever. That seems silly. Steve Stoffel, otherwise known as Tim, is actually really, really good. I think he's an exact match for what I'm looking for. Let's make it a thing. Is Willie Ramirez a really good shortstop? He's not. Okay. That's what I had to check on. If it had turned out he had been a very good shortstop, I actually would have had to consider him pretty strongly. But for right now, we good. What is the problem with Jeff Boylan? Ah, he sucks. That's the problem. This is the kind of pitcher who reminds me a lot of like Jamie Moyer. except he's right-handed, and that he throws really, really soft. He's pretty smart, but this isn't the kind of package you'd spend a lot of money on. This is the kind of guy that maybe falls in the draft because his arm isn't very good. What's wrong with Gary Rios? Ah. I'm a little disappointed. This particular player profile seems to really, really suffer in OOTP 26. This used to be a pretty solid one in past seasons, but what happens is because they don't hit for power, they're not able to get on base enough to let their average actually work. This is actually not a very good hitter. The profile I'm thinking of here is Juan Pierre, but without the speed. And that's terrible. Also, Juan Pierre is a much better center fielder than this guy. So he's basically just a flat-out worse player. I would not draft him, even if he were free. What about Kevin Prebanik? Literally the exact same guy. It's like they cloned him. Frankly, I think one Gary Rios is too much, but... Ross Pike is an okay bat, and I have the money, so signing him seems like an okay choice. He's got a nice all-around package here. He's going to hit for 30-plus doubles a season, maybe more. He's going to hit a good number of home runs. He gets on base. His defense is nothing to write home about, but I do want more offensive talent, so I think we're going to give him the shot. It's risky, but I think it's something we can back up. We like Paul Lowe. I've been ignoring you for the first two picks. Let's talk to you about Paul Lowe. Paul Lowe's actually perfect. Let's grab him. Done. Zero hesitation. I could not possibly have hesitated less than I did right there. It's a very good player. We keep ignoring pitching. I probably have to do a bit of a reach now if I want a good pitcher. Pat Fletcher is not a shortstop. He's a third baseman is what he is. This is such a fascinating player that I think we have to go for it. He's a third baseman. Let's set that expectation immediately. He's the moment he hits my system, he's gonna start playing third base. But he's got so much power, and he's not as bad at striking out. Yes. Give me Pat. I'm really a third baseman, Fletcher. Draft pick. Seth Sossaman. He's a little better than that other guy we looked at. He's got some good traits that you can get a little bit interested in. He's not very good, though, and his arm strength is very concerning to me. Then again, he's left-handed. What about Jamie Wenzel? Jamie Wenzel's a pretty damn good reliever. There's a world in which Jamie Wenzel possibly becomes a starter if he picks up a third pitch. So let's go ahead and grab him instead. That's the correct choice. It's the most correct choice. Alright. Tony Rivera. Nope. I don't like that my Sky Director keeps saying, what if we picked this player profile? Like, bro, it's the same one you've recommended like 7 times. There ain't nothing there, man. Josh Buller I really like. Let's grab him. Yes, it's going to cost me money. I don't care. Anybody projected to go in the first round fall out of the first round? Yeah, Gil Lima did. Okay. Let's... Oh, I have to pick now? We're into the 7th round. Who do you want me to take? You would really like me to take John Lackney? We'll do it. The entertainment the other guy's been looking at is the gap power. The fact he will hit doubles and occasionally triples makes him more valuable to me than the other 2 goose the game kept recommending. That's right, I called him Goose. What are you going to do about it? We want Max Jones? Absolutely not. It's the 8th round. This is the kind of guy where if you ever forget out his control, he could be a possible ace. Because everything else looks brilliant. And I think that is the kind of guy I'm willing to spend a draft pick on. It's very, very controversial. It could very well blow up in our face. Our face, not faced. Only one face, guys. Let's do some tool looking. Let's get toolsy here. I would like a batting dude that hits for power. Bob Juarez is kind of solid all around, but I'd like someone who has a bit more average. Chris Saylor is risky. He's definitely a risky pick. But I think it's fine. I think getting someone that's a little bit more polished, who doesn't cost me any money, is very worthwhile. What about Matt Arvidsson? Matt Arvidsson could be good. I'll draft him too. And then I'm going to look for somebody that's got an incredible ability to hit baseballs overall. Bill O'Donohue, you're a terrible third baseman, and you also strike out all the time, so maybe I won't bother with you. Damon Bauknecht is not a terrible second baseman, so we can grab him, plus his name is Bauknecht, which is pretty great. Let's do some toolsy grabs of pitchers now. All right, so a lot of these guys are going to be the kinds of guys that are very, very risky. Wow, have we already, like, scraped the bottom of the barrel? I'll take Jamie Hoover then. Let's hope he doesn't suck too much. Get it? Let's go back and let's listen to our scouting director some more. You want Bob Thornton? Billy Bob Thornton? Let's do it. I'm in. Tyrone Hill. No. He is very rubber-armed, but all of his pitches suck, and he doesn't have a ton of velocity. He does keep the ball down, which is useful. But overall, I guess there's value in having organizational filler. So maybe I take him for that reason only, but he is not good. If this guy ever sees a single major league plate pitching appearance, I would be utterly stunned. You can clip me on that, and then when it turns out he's like my ace in like 5 seasons, then we can go from there. You want Ronnie King? What about David Dudek? Let's get David Dudek instead. He's pretty good all around. I can be pretty happy about that one. We still want Ronnie King? Fine. Ronnie King is actually good, except for the control. I also feel like the scouting directors are overtuned in OOTP 26 to always obsess about the guys that have great stuff but bad control. Like, I know the control can be fixed. That's not lost on me. Ew. This is lost on me. But, I still don't think it's always the best choice. We like Dan Barnaby, do we? Fine. We're going through the dregs now. Let's see. Nah, we'll just take the top guys each time. I can't even be bothered to check now. Sean Reynolds, sure. You want Curtis Frego? Why not? Done. Alright, you're going to want a lot of money. How much? You want more than 7.5 million? I will give you 8.5 million. Did this go from 85 million? I didn't. Okay, good. I'm not saying that Ross Pike is that amazing, but he is very, very good, and I have all this money, so I might as well spend it. Okay, Jeff Carr is ready to come back. McMartin is really struggling this year. Really, really struggling. So is Paul Trice. Can I demote him now? Okay. So this definitely happens. I don't know how the lineup changes, but that definitely had to happen. All right. Eric Riddick got a 2-year deal. We'll see with that one third baseman. I will look at him later on. Okay. Is Jeff Carr better than Ken McMartin? Yes. Is he better than Oscar Castellanos? God, yes. So I think he just replaces Castellanos for now. Carr's a really good defender. He's much better than, for instance, he's actually not better than Calderon, and he's about the same as McMartin. So maybe we should have an overqualified DH, I suppose. That's fine. Look, somebody's got to start hitting, right? Somebody in this outfield has to start taking over games in a good way. Do I want Castellanos getting the occasional rep in center field? Not really. Cooper is, and long-standing tradition, struggling after getting a big contract. He's still stealing bases extremely well, but he's not hitting. Concern. So I think letting Calderon play it or Castellanos play center every once in a while is probably acceptable. I think I can get behind that. Yeah. That's fine. Casey misses 5 weeks. Actually is sucky, because he's actually pitching pretty well this season, but that happens. We need to find a new reliever. Who's next man up? Paul Heyer, almost certainly. Or Jason Nish. I do like Jason Nish a lot, and I do want to give him his first major league experiences there, so you know what? You're in. Welcome to the team. Does Phil Harper become setup man? Yes, he does. You're the 7th inning setup guy, and you're going to be the middle reliever. There we go. Do I swap Bennett for Santa Cruz? Is that a thing I'm considering? Not really. He's gotten extremely lucky, so I don't want to push him too hard yet. His WAR looks bad because he doesn't pitch very much, but let's let him just stretch out his arm in the bullpen. We can move up Arguello and Yakinde and just make Santa Cruz a starter. But yeah, Santa Cruz is not coming back. I know he's the captain, but he's not coming back. Was it Stockel? No. Was it Lowe? No. Wenzel? No. Okay. We'll find it. We'll figure it out. Am I going to regret not signing that one guy in free agency? Probably. You would give me a bunch of garbage for Hedgecock? This is a hard no from me, dog. Look, I'm not going to sit there and tell you that Hedgecock is the perfect player, but he's at least stabilized first base, so I will take it for now. And then hope to keep improving. How is Sean Zelaya doing? Is this Sean Zelaya's time yet? I think it's getting there. I think Mr. Zelaya has a very excellent chance to be considered one of my spring training promotions. Definitely. Who is doing exceptionally well in A-ball this year? Melvin Martinez, welcome to High A. Mike Radigan, welcome to High A. Who is struggling in AAA? A lot of people. Dave Martin, go to AA and play better. Thank you. Go back to ratings here. Poor AJ Dubé. He starts the roster on hitting. He starts the opening day roster. Feels pretty excited, and then nothing. Is Edgar Castillo the guy that was on my team? Yeah, he was. How you doing, buddy? Not super great. Not super great. You did have a pretty incredible season. A couple of them with San Francisco, but it's been all downhill for you there. What did I get for you? I got Matt Potter, who never played, and Mike Adams, who's not with the club anymore. Well, I could bring Grady Emerson back, but I can't because he's illegal. How's your career been, buddy? It's not been great. I think he counts as the bustiest bust that ever busted. Because he just never worked out. Damn, Jake Miller. You're making the most of your limited playing time, which I'm kind of excited about, actually. I think this is where you shine, right? You shine best when you're coming off the bench, spelling players every once in a while. And I think that's an incredibly valuable thing to have. Incredibly valuable. Okay. Do we trade Santa Cruz? I don't think so. And I don't think we... I guess Oscar Crespo or Hagenwood could take his spot. Hagenwood's actually really tempting. Oscar Crespo is a nice little interim dude. Oh yeah, use my scouting director always, please. I mean, Santa Cruz is nothing to write home about, right? He's just there. So Crespo is Santa Cruz, but cheaper. We could give Hagenwood a shot, although he's a bit farther away from the majors. I'm not going to try any of these lower ranking guys, because I think that's foolish. The height of absurdity. We could just give Bennett the spot. Let David Bennett start for the rest of the season. Is there any market for Santa Cruz? Let's start with that. Is there a market here? Or is this just go fuck yourself? It's go fuck yourself. Well, you might be a 10-5 guy. You're not. Almost, but you're not. Just nobody wants you. If I eat, say, half of his salary, does that attract any interest? If I eat his entire salary, does that attract any interest? I'm beginning to see a pattern here, and that pattern is nobody wants Ruben Santa Cruz. Yeah, that's fair. I could just release him. I don't want to do that. Is there anybody whose contract is coming up that might be tradable? Nobody wants Dave Martin, I don't think. That seems unlikely. There's just nobody here. I think that makes sense to trade right now. Do I keep Will Levy's contract? He's super popular, and I have the money, so it's not like releasing him gains me anything. And it's like he's pitching poorly either. Like, he's getting the job done. He might be overpaid relative to his actual contributions, but he is, pretty good. So I'm not gonna lose any sleep over that one. I'll see if anybody makes an interesting offer, but they probably won't. Why on earth would you trade a pitcher that's this good? Like, let me put it this way. I would give a lot of money to bring Tyler Grant to this team. His nickname is the fucking Skull. Incredible. This is the guy you build your rotation on. You don't trade this dude. I wonder if they're hemorrhaging money, though. That could very well be the case. Josh Roop has played in the majors. I just think we just skip the deadline. I mean, I'll skip each sim individually. Someone might make me an offer that I care about, but I think we just say goodbye to Santa Cruz in the off season and don't worry about it. It's not because of the money, it's because he's not good enough anymore. And I want to get you more young pitchers to see what they can do. It's Jeremy Turner. He's still hanging out. Good for you, man. Good for you. All right, guys. August has to be our month. I want to see us win a fair few games and give ourselves a little bit of breathing room in the postseason race. That's what I want to see. That is my request from you wonderful folks. Tony Sarmiento gaining velocity is very funny to me. Jake Miller's getting better too. This is where Jake Miller gets more playing time, I suppose. Hagwood's control. He crossed a crucial threshold. Very crucial. Other guys getting better. You'd love to see it. Matt Andrews is getting better. Mandrews. You know what? Done. Mandrews, as he likes to be called. Jaramillo has limitless potential. Limitless potential. He's just got to build up on it, right? He's got to be there. Tony Rodriguez is improving. Nice. Melvin Martinez looks better than ever. If you're already throwing 100 miles an hour, I don't think losing a tick in velocity is that troubling. Kevin Brusser getting better. It's good stuff, guys. Invest heavily in your minor leagues, and it will never steer you wrong. We want a nice, high-quality month of August. 16 to 13, that'd be a wild game to be sitting in the stands for, right? Brian Casey, do I actually want you back? I don't not want you back. I think I'm going to replace you. I'm going to replace Long with you. Long is just too inconsistent. You've actually been a really, really good reliever. I'm going to make you a middle reliever. I like the idea of putting Harbor and Remy in charge. And Dave Crawford is once again the closer everybody overlooks, which is good for me, because I've got him locked up for 4 more years. Which is very, very exciting. Teles hit 3 home runs in a game. That's pretty fun. Edward Madrid, that's very rude. But what an incredible game, right? Can you imagine how much fun it would be to be sitting there and watching a 16-inning game just exploded in the 16th? What an amazing afternoon, right? Evening, quite possibly. No, afternoon. Miami set a bunch of regular season records. Ruben Santa Cruz are pretty good. Oh, Dave Bennett got fucking robbed by terrible defense. That's a bummer. If David Bennett doesn't suffer all this bad defense, then he actually comes out with a win. Yasukawa got on base 4 times. You love to see it. Mark Monroe hit a double. Ken McMartin got a home run, his 13th. David Hunt got his 13th as well. Lucky 13. Nice. That would have been a fun game. It would have been a long game. That's the kind of game you have to go get snacks more than once, I think. Or beers, if that's your sort of thing. I do like having a beer at the ballpark, but they're also very, very overpriced. So part of me doesn't like doing it. All right, we're cooking. We're not out of the woods yet, though. We've seen pretty epic collapses from the Rockies, so we need us to keep the foot on the gas, so to speak. We need to keep pushing and secure our postseason spot. The second bye is in play. It's not a very high percentage chance, but it is in play if we look at the standings here. We're one game ahead of the Reds. We just need to keep winning. If we keep winning, then everything else will sort itself out. Once you get into the postseason, then anything can happen. Roster expansion. Didn't I say someday I wanted to expand the roster for? Maybe. I said Sean Zelaya, didn't I? No, Will Meyer definitely gets to come back. 100%. And then I'd like to get a young pitcher some more experience. Is it Jaden Hagwood's time? I don't think so. I want him to get more experience. I guess he's already pitching AAA quite a bit. You know what? You're in. Oh, 40 man's full. Andrew Major, fuck all the way off. There we go. Hagwood, most notably, is not eligible for the postseason roster because he wasn't on the Major League roster, but that's still fine. And then lineups, I'm just going to use... Do I bench McMartin in favor of Meyer? Or Calderon in favor of Meyer? Calderon should not be playing if Meyer is available. So let's get you platooning there, and that'll be sorted. Jeff Carr is struggling pretty badly, too. I think letting Calderon ride the bench a bit is probably beneficial because his offensive profile isn't that exciting. Let's go to the end of the regular season here. Andrew Major, to the surprise of exactly 0 human beings, is returned. Who's having a great year in AAA and AA? Who needs a promotion? You absolutely need a promotion, RJ Schilling. Done. Anybody sucking that could use a demotion? Not really. Who's the worst player in AA? It's definitely Dave Seal. Doesn't have my seal of approval, that's for sure. Let's get some rookies, some experience in A-ball, although I think the season is mostly over anyway. But I think promoting some folks like Richard Barber and Johnny Carroll is fine. Diego Arvelo can be promoted. Let's also grab Mike Loader and Willie Mergeni. Done. That's all that sorted. Okay. Personal message. Oh, did that one guy ever sign? Let me look at my thing here. Because I want him playing at third base at every opportunity. Was it Stoffel? It wasn't Stoffel. It wasn't Paul Lowe. Wasn't Ross Pike. It was Pat Fletcher. He signed a long time ago and I just missed it. Alright, friend. Play third base. I'm not even going to waste time hoping that you turn out to be a good shortstop because you won't be. You're not even a very good second baseman because you can't turn double plays very well, which is kind of the most important thing a second baseman does. Lost the hitting coach. We clinched the division. Very exciting stuff. We lost to Washington. Less exciting stuff. We got 89 wins. That's not bad. That's not bad. Most importantly, we secured ourselves, I believe, a bye. Because we were slightly better than the Reds. Hell yeah. Playoff roster. Who are we leaving off? Wait, how long? Yasukawa's missing the postseason. That is very stinky. Very, very stinky. Okay, I can add someone to the postseason roster. I need to add another infielder. I guess it's Arguelles. This is not how I wanted to make his major league debut, but I need somebody. This changes a lot. Do I have anybody who's good at getting on base? No, I don't. We're actually pretty terrible at getting on base, as it turns out. Jonathan Anderson, you're the new leadoff guy. I hate it as much as you... No, it's going to be Travis Cooper. Cooper at least has good speed. That's something, I suppose. But losing Yasukawa hurts a lot. I don't know how good we're going to do in this postseason here, so we're going to have to figure it out. We'll just constantly inject him with, like, super HGH. All this is fun. It's the postseason. Starters are going to play as much as they possibly can. That's just how it's going to be. This all gives us the maximum bench flexibility, which is of essential concern. We hit lots of home runs, and we don't get on base very well. And that is a skill that I think we need to try to fix. Our best on base guy is the one who's injured. So we're in a little bit of a yikes scenario. But at least we have one postseason round to get healthier, right? That's one thing we've got. And I also get to set my rotation the way I want it. So we're going to run a 3-man rotation. It's going to be Levy, Sarmiento, and Arguello. And then you guys can be long relievers, I think. Shout out to Arguello, who's finally settling into the pitcher we thought he always could be. Really excited to see him continue to develop, and he'll definitely be getting an extension in the offseason here. Alright guys, let's see if we can't advance to the NLCS. Levy tried, guys. You failed him offensively, which does not surprise me at all. We're a very boomer bust offense. Thankfully, we tied the series up a bit. Nice. Oh, Sarmiento pitched extremely well. Hats off to him. Arguello, this is a chance to truly show your growth. Good enough? Perfection is not required. Good enough is what is required. Levy, lock it down. Brilliant. Advanced to the NLCS. You'd love to see it. We're going to go 4-man rotation now. And the question is it Santa Cruz? Or is it Yakinde? Yakinde was undisputedly the better pitcher this year. And so I think he has to be given this 4th spot. I know Santa Cruz has been a Rocky for a very long time. I know he didn't have a bad season, but you have to ride the hot hand when it comes to the postseason. His postseason career has not been particularly distinguished either. Alright, guys. To the next playoff round, please and thank you. Lose Dorian Waite for 5 weeks? That's not the end of the world, actually. If I'm gonna miss somebody, I'd rather miss a relief pitcher. I've got people that I can add to the roster in their place. Oh, Phil Harbor's not on the postseason roster? Get his ass on there. Phil Harbor had a great season. There we go. Done. I should probably remove another outfielder and add another pitcher, shouldn't I? Maybe we're fine. We have too many outfielders. That's obvious to me, but I don't know who I would even get. Yeah, I think we just wrote. I mean, I guess we could do Hagwood. Do I need another long man, though? I've already got two because Santa Cruz isn't starting. So maybe we're fine. Maybe I don't worry about it. Shoulder bursitis. That's rough, buddy. That is very rough. Sarmiento opens the series against the New York Mets. Sarmiento, my friend, this was not on you. You had a perfectly acceptable outing. You just didn't get any offensive support. Hey, no offense. One offensive support is better than no offensive support. I did not expect two pitchers duels when we were in Colorado, but I guess I'm here for it. I just care that we win. I don't care how we win, right? This is more what I expected in Colorado. We came out on the winning end, and that's all that matters. Okay. Man, Dylan Patrick Baxter legitimately putting in the work here. Good to see. Oof. That's a rough loss. Sarmiento just got vaporized. Let's win it. Let's win it at home, guys. Game. Do not. Whew. We did it. We did it. We made the World Series. We made the World fucking Series. Hell yeah. I mean, I don't have Will Levy for game one. That's perfectly fine to me. Actually, is Yasukawa ready? No, he would be back in 5 days. So that won't be happening here. I guess I could activate Yasukawa instead of one of the outfielders. That's a thing I could do. You know what? This is the kind of move that might make a huge difference. So we're going to do exactly that. Which outfielder is the most expendable? It's probably Castellanos, right? Yeah. This is the correct choice. Because this means if the series goes long enough, we can get Yasukawa into it. And that offers us a pretty sizable advantage, a pretty sizable benefit. Hey, you know what? Awesome start. Great job, gentlemen. I didn't play Houston at all this year? That's kind of wild. Nice. Nice. Okay. We weren't. I was getting kind of excited there. However, I believe now Yasukawa is fully healthy. All right, guys. Big brain play time. Jonathan Anderson, you have been so important to us. But a world in which Yasukawa can play is a world in which he does play. Let's fucking go. Guys, we did it. We won the World Series. We proved it is possible to win the World Series without signing any major league free agents or acquiring any major league players. It took us a long ass time, but it is indeed possible. Absolutely incredible. Oh my lord. I will never do this challenge again. It was a lot of fun in a lot of ways. I don't hate it, and I would play the game this way again if I was doing it for myself. Santa Cruz, I'm glad you got a ring with us. Enjoy playing for somebody else. Secondary roster has been reduced. Okay. But let's bask in our glory for a moment. And then I think what's going to happen next week is we're just going to do like a series and review kind of thing. No, that's not true. I think we will keep going with the Rockies series just because out of the Park Baseball is coming out in a couple months anyway. Um, yeah, we're gonna ride this one a little bit farther because I've grown to enjoy this more the more I've played it. Oh, by the way, did Yasukawa play any sort of role in that final game? Did my big brain play matter? He went 2 for 4 and drew a walk. I'm not saying I'm the reason we won the World Series, but I did put the team together. Yasukawa also got into the Priest game, which is great. Mark Monroe is just such an incredible player, and I can't believe at one point is considering getting rid of you. You're just so good at everything that I'm kind of jealous, actually. Kind of jealous. Amazing season with the bat. Very, very needed. Great job, Mark Monroe. Yasukawa, after a disappointing 2040, you came back and were exceptional. Multi-time All-Star, multi-time Gold Glover. At second base and shortstop. The bald fucking eagle has himself a ring, finally. Jeff Polson, completely acceptable. Very, very good player. I'm glad that we have him. Could he be better? Absolutely. But I'm very happy for him, and I'm happy we have him. Travis Cooper, down season. But is it really a down season? Or is it more just 2040 was just a ridiculous year, and the rest of the years will be more like this one? This is fine. I wish I got more out of him. I'm not going to say that I didn't, but he is hitting okay, he is stealing bases, and he is playing exceptional defense. That's what I want out of a center fielder. That's it. Ken McMartin bounced back a little bit, but he was not very good this season. Mostly because he just didn't hit the ball as well. Sometimes it's that easy, right? Shout out to Jonathan Anderson. Will Meyer did pretty good work in limited time. David Hunt is probably replaceable. Jeff Carr didn't have a great season, but didn't play that much. Jake Miller, low-key, was pretty solid, actually. Very low-key. Pretty good. The pitching, this was a full team effort. Every one of my starters was good. None of them were, like, outstanding, but they were all very good. And that's all you really need. Dave Cropper continues to be the most underrated closer in the game. He did win Reliever of the Year last year, but he should have won it the year before also, I believe. And Jason Nish was kind of bad, but he's still figuring it out, so we can cut him some slack. But Dylan Patrick Bagster, I want to give a shout out to this mad lad. Look at his postseason. Okay, he actually was just in the right place at the right time. Never mind. Fuck you, Dylan Patrick Bagster. Can I go back to the postseason thing? Is that a thing I can see here? I want to see who won the awards. Oh, it might be here. Let's see. Division Series, the playoff MVP was Jonathan Hedgecock. Nice. Then we have Jeff Polson as MVP. And who won World Series MVP? You're not telling me this. Game? Who's World Series MVP? I will check every freaking person on this roster if I have to. Was it Mark Monroe? It was Mark Monroe. Okay, good. Such an amazing feeling. So happy for this team. This is what I mean when this is objectively not that good a team. Let's get that one out of the way. He's fine. He's acceptable. Or it's an acceptable team, but this is not necessarily the kind of team you'd expect to dominate. But we got hot at the right time. Everyone contributed, and we held the trophy at the end of the day. Unless we won the Lombardi Trophy, which is a trophy in the NFL. That would be very impressive. We played so good, you guys. They decided, you know what, you can be Super Bowl MVPs as well. Definitely. But that's it. Again, apologies for the late video, but I hope it was worth the wait. And I hope you'll join me for the next one, as we can see if we can maybe make a mini dynasty out of this. Okay, probably not, but it'd be funny if we could. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the series so far. If you're going to watch the Super Bowl this weekend, I hope your team wins. I'm pulling for the Seahawks just because the Patriots have won so many Super Bowls in my lifetime. But I wouldn't be that upset if the Patriots won. At least it's not Tom Brady winning again. So there's that. Plus, I like Mike Vrabel, back to when he played for Ohio State. I used to watch him on TV. Was he part of that crazy team that won the national championship in 3 overtimes against Miami? I feel like he was on that team. When did he play for Ohio State? No, he played from 93 to 96. Was 93 that year? Let's see. Ohio State. No, that was in 93. Definitely. It was 2003 is when they won against Miami. So, anyways. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping Seattle wins. But I wouldn't be that upset if the Patriots won. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, this has been UpGuardian, and I bid you good day.